Hello and welcome to an evening with BrandShield. We've got Yoav Keren, CEO of BrandShield. I've interviewed him several times, or maybe dozens of times actually over the last year or so during the pandemic. And the pandemic, of course, was an event which really brought cybersecurity and everything that BrandShield does into focus. So without further ado, Yoav.
Thank you. Thank you. I was happy to finally find out that you have legs.
Yes. Actually, there's one question. There's one question I'd like to ask because, as you probably know, the London market is full of people who are into mining stocks and oil and gas, and maybe you could explain why somebody who is into that area of the market might want to look at BrandShield.
So, I'll try to make it simple. Actually, I think the first couple of slides will help focus on that. Please come in. We just started. So, you know, we deal. You see that the headline kind of my presentation. We deal with the darkest side of cybercrime in a sense, which happens on your computers, on your phones, just right now, and. You know, I know the name of what we do, online threat hunting, might not be too clear to people that are not in the industry. But basically, just to make it simple, what we do is we detect online threats, things that are happening external to the organization, and we take them down. Simple as that. So these are basically phishing, fraud, impersonation, counterfeiting, different types of activities that happen on the internet that are targeting either customers of organizations or their employees and are, in a sense, just impersonating the company and trying to defraud end users, employees by taking their credentials, stealing money from them, selling them a fake product, something of that sort. We're the only real SaaS platform, software as a service, out there dealing with these threats. So that means others do it, most of it manually. And we use artificial intelligence, we use machine learning, we use big data, which are basically kind of the core of the technology that the cybersecurity technology that we've developed to deal with this problem. So, and hopefully this slide will help answer your question, precisely, because there's hundreds of cybersecurity companies out there. In Israel, by the way, where we're coming from, there's around 500. Almost all of them deal with threats that are here, meaning on the perimeter of the organization. These are threats that happen on something that is in the control of the Chief Information Security Officer, or what we call the CISO. And that means, by the way, that it happens on their computers, on their phones, on their cloud, on their servers. Something that is internal, okay, and kind of from the firewall within. The threats that we deal with, and this is, by the way, what makes BrandShield kind of simple to understand to people, they happen out there on someone else's server, because if someone wants to impersonate a company, they just start a website that looks like the original one, okay? Now, where does it happen? It doesn't happen on the company's servers. It will happen on some hosting provider, right? Some ISP, internet service provider, okay? They'll start a page on Facebook impersonating the company or an executive. I'll show you examples in a few minutes. Very simple, very cheap to do. And there's a lot of different scams around those activities, and that's what we detect, and that's what we stop. We take those things down. Actually, when you think about it, these days, this is one of the growing problems in the cybersecurity space. And the reason for that is there's so much security done inside, makes it harder for the cybercriminals to infiltrate organizations. So why do that? Let's do it outside, right? It's much easier. Now, the threats that we protect from online phishing, online scams, executive impersonation, brand abuse, counterfeits, they're all basically creating damage to the organization, either to their bottom line or reputation, customers losing trust in that company. These are all rising threats online. So I want to start from an example. This website looks like a Levi's website. If you notice what I've kind of marked here, it's called cheaplvsjacket.com. That's not Levi's. This is a phishing site. Now, is it phishing? Or is it a counterfeit site? Do they sell anything? So, when you go back a few years, most of these impersonations would sell products, right? They'll sell a fake Levi's. Turned out they got smarter. Why sell? Why waste your time? Let's take people's credentials. Let's take their credit card. Let's just scam them. I don't need to send any product. I don't need to produce any product. It's much simpler. I make more money that way, right? So this is actually a phishing site. And, can be both, by the way, in some cases. Actually, we don't care. Because for us, the detection of a website like that happens in the same way. Whether they sell something or they don't, we don't mind. The interesting thing another thing kind of on BrandShield, and I hope this kind of closes that the answer to what you're asking, is that we provide a solution that fills the cracks for different stakeholders in the organization. Basically, it's between cybersecurity, legal, and marketing. Quite depends on the organization itself, because each organization deals with these threats by their own strategy. Traditionally, brand protection, these threats were dealt with by legal teams. But what we've envisioned 3 years ago, and is happening these days, is that, or in the past couple of years, mainly, the pandemic kind of accelerated it, is that you see more of these things being controlled by the cybersecurity teams, because when you see a site like that, that's a real cyber danger for the organization. But the CISO, the Chief Information Security Officer, with the traditional security solutions that they have, they don't get any intelligence about what's happening. And more than that, even if someone tells them there's a risk out there, they know nothing about how to take it down. And this is exactly how we help with them, how we get in and kind of fill the cracks between the different stakeholders and provide them with one platform, simple place where they get the intelligence, and we take that problem away. We take it away by taking those things down ourselves for them. Very simply, extremely automated. Now, the pyramid of pain is something it's kind of very well known in the security space. And we've kind of worked out this model of an external threat pyramid of pain of the CISOs. And it starts from the simpler issues, which is email phishing. This is usually when I say phishing, people think about, it's that email I got from whatever, HSBC, that impersonates them and has that link. And I knew that, or I have my anti-spam that will stop it or something like that. We don't deal with this, okay? That's old-fashioned kind of, there's other solutions out there. We deal with all these problems. And it's cyber squatting, it's social media phishing, it's executive impersonation, it's fraud networks, it's multi-channel, cross-platform phishing attacks. It gets really hard to deal with these as you go up the pyramid. And it's actually more problematic to the organization. This is an example from one of our clients of what we've done for them, okay, on this pyramid. And this is a financial organization. So 14% of their problems came from email phishing. Okay, by the way, they can, when they get that phishing email, they let us know, we'll take the phishing down. If we didn't detect it before. But then comes the cyber squatting, it's easy, but when you look at the hard ones, 25% of the problems, of the things we took care of them, took down for them, are annoying, challenging, or tough. Okay, for our networks, multi-channel phishing attacks. That's the strengths of Brandshield's technology. That's where we make a big difference, right? Because others don't know how to deal with these. Don't detect them, don't know how to deal with them. We're making a big difference here. And I want to explain exactly, what we do. Just give you examples, right, of different cases that we've done. So Levi's been a customer for several years. When the pandemic started, they had a huge increase in phishing sites like this one. We detected them and we took them, just in April, we took down hundreds of those phishing websites and continued after. You can see some numbers over here. Very high success rate of takedowns. And this is basically what's happening, right? These websites don't sell anything. They're just impersonating and trying to defraud the end users or the employees of the company. So we've done a research, and the COVID basically has really pushed this, right? There's a big move into e-commerce, and as a result, cybercrime is going wild. Now, one of the things that we've checked is registrations of domain names, right? The websites' names with the word vaccine, and how much that was used over the kind of January 20 to January 21, and you see what happened, right? This is where the world started getting pharma companies announcing they're going to be out with vaccines. So you see how it works, right? The scammers start getting a position and really holding, though, this is the kind of the asset. This is how they started, right? It's that website name or place where they'll start the scam. So this numbers got really high just before vaccines were out, and the world started getting a little bit more normal. So we were actually working for the past year with the Pharmaceutical Security Institute, which is an organization that has all the major pharmaceutical companies as members, and we were working with protecting different drugs that they have, but some of them were the major vaccine producers. And these are some examples of things that we found and we took down. So you can see also an interesting thing here is how the funnel works. When we talk about email phishing, many times you'll get an email and it'll get you to the phishing site by having you click on this link. The change in the past couple of years or 3 years is there's more things happening on social media. So basically they impersonate different organizations on social media and they funnel it to the marketplaces. These are e-commerce platforms that basically sell the drugs, okay, or sell whatever, the counterfeit or whatever product we're trying to protect. So this is how the scam kind of is funneled. We detect all these things and we take them down. Now, a little bit about the story around the vaccine fraud. So we've been working with PSI, the Pharmaceutical Security Institute, and one of the things was we've done a PR around all that work. I got to speak to a lot of media channels in the US. I mean, ABC, NBC, CBS, around the different states in the US. Basically, there's millions of people that have seen the articles, the reports around BrandShield, what we're doing for PSI and how we, stop it. And we're talking actually kind of trying to help together with PSI. This was more in March, April when vaccines started in the US, telling people, beware, don't buy online, don't go online, don't do this, it's a scam. If you see an ad, it's a scam. Now, going back to the 500 cybersecurity companies out of Israel, I don't think there were too many CEOs of all these cyber companies that talked on US TV in the past year as much as I did. Now, why is that? So, I'm kind of talking about ourselves, but in a sense, it's because we are in a hot space and we are hot. Okay, we're doing something very unique. There's very few companies, if at all, that deal with this problem. And it's a growing problem that affects the public. All right, this is really one of the biggest effects of these type of scams on the public in the past couple of years. So, and that's where we are, and that's how we're stopping it. So here's some more examples. This is actually a website, a phishing site that was around one of the pharma companies. I wish we could have named all of them. We can't. Many of them want to keep the relationship confidential, and we appreciate that. We're the trusted partner. But generally, this is a website that we took down, and actually this was in collaboration with the U.S. Law enforcement that actually took over the domaining and took a full control and went through a full investigation to try and find who were behind these fake websites. That also happens sometimes. So this is a case study on Pologen, and actually I don't wanna do this. I want to show you. I don't know if you had a chance, but take a few minutes and show you this.
Pologen is a luminous company and a global leader in providing innovative, safe, and effective solutions in the medical aesthetics market. Offering products to create skin treatments like Tripolar RF, Oxygenel, and DMA. With a flood of unregulated products on the market causing damage to our brand reputation, we realized we needed a much better brand protection platform.
Pologen is a respected international brand with a distribution network across 60 countries. As a result, Pologen needed a viable, comprehensive strategy to protect their brand integrity and customer loyalty and reduce gray market products. Pologen wanted to strengthen their distributors' trust and show that they are able to deal with this type of market threat.
To significant sales loss, there was mounting pressure from distributors and sales teams to resolve the issue, and fast.
Counterfeit products impact Pologen on many levels, but customer safety concerns above all.
Pologen needed a strong brand protection strategy, backed by a top-notch and flexible security platform to be able to deal with counterfeiters rapidly and constantly changing tactics. Therefore, Pologen engaged BrandShield as their brand protection vendor. We immediately took a proactive approach, analyzing and mapping the different issues Pologen was facing.
BrandShield's hunters have reached a phenomenal takedown success rate, both with Chinese and Western marketplaces, where most issues were detected. We are amazed that we reached an 80 to 90% infringement detection and takedown rate within the first month.
Working with Pologen and their distribution network, we were able to create a highly professional, flexible, and creative solution.
We delivered far more than just counterfeit protection. We provided a sense of control and allowed everybody to get back to doing what they do best. In essence, our brand protection program effectively supported both Pologen sales and ongoing business.
A unified effort between our team and our technology has made this solution the best fit for Polygen. BrandShield's proactive approach solved the business concerns, reestablishing affiliate partner trust, reducing counterfeit products, and helping their teams remain focused.
BrandShield is a partner that never gives up and always finds a creative way to reach a resolution. Can't is not an option. They'll always find a way.
Must say it's really comforting to have our customers talk about us that way. So yeah, I don't need to speak more about Polygen. It's a really a good success story, and it's continuing. And we're doing as much as we can. Some of our customers are happy to share that there are customers and understand that actually, in a sense, it is a way to let the bad guys know that they're protected and maybe go somewhere else, and also a way to tell their customers, we're protecting you. We're doing something to really make sure that you're not buying, a counterfeit. You're not defrauded online. You're not being phished by someone that is impersonating us. Now, in a very different industry than medical devices, a financial institute, which is an American one, that became a customer, and they're traded publicly. On the first month working with them, we took down over 200 impersonating accounts on social media for the CEO. Okay, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. Now, what do? They impersonate the CEO. They create an interaction with the community, right? They might even copy everything from the legitimate account, the picture, the post, so it actually looks okay. And at a certain point, they'll send you to a phishing site. They'll send you a private message that will say, oh, I have a deal, I have something, send money here or do that, here's a promotion, something weird. Or even call me. Well, let's talk about this. So these scams are starting more and more on social media, and that's what we detect, and that's what we take down. That was on the first month, by the way. We've done hundreds more since, and it continues, and definitely more to go. Another story about CoinMama. CoinMama is an exchange. It's a crypto exchange. We've had a few other crypto companies joining us in the past few months, and CoinMama has when they've came over very quickly. We took down around 30. That's since then it's increasing phishing sites, just impersonating them, and 100% takedown rate. Now, crypto is naturally, again, rising in the past few months, and there's a lot of action around that. So, actually, when you think about it, in the financial space, in general, trust is an extremely important part. Crypto is lacking a lot of that, right? And more companies are trying to be perceived as legit, which is, definitely they're doing a legit business. But the scammers are really going after that. The reason for that is that by its essence, crypto blockchain is anonymous, right? That's the good thing about crypto, and the problematic thing about it, because if you send your money, your coins, to the wrong wallet, it's gone, right? You don't have it anymore. There's no one to call. There's no bank behind it. It's not insured, right? You lost it forever. And you'll forever see it in the blockchain, that transaction, right? It will remind you forever that you've done that mistake. So this is why you see more and more crypto companies understanding this is important. We need to protect our reputation, protect our customers from being defrauded. And definitely works, right? You see the results, right? This is what we do. We detect it very quickly. We're able today to detect duplication of a website within seconds of once it's done. So, I mean, it's really, really strong. It will take it down very quickly. Actually, we did some research around crypto, which we've shared with the public a couple months ago, and in July. You probably know that Elon Musk is talking about probably around crypto a lot of his time, right? Kind of the same amount that you talk about shares, right? And he, when we did that research, look at the numbers of impersonating accounts on Facebook, LinkedIn, VK, the Russian platform, Instagram. This is the way scams are made. Now, by the way, this raises another question. Is an influencer like that, should he, and you probably understand what's my answer to that, should he actually make sure that people that follow him are protected? And there's not so much impersonation out there, but this really shows you the problem. And here's some more numbers around, things around Bitcoin. So we found a huge influx in the past year of registrations of fake websites and phishing sites around Bitcoin, Dogecoin, which Elon Musk was promoting. These are all phishing sites with these that are still, I think most of them are still out there around Bitcoin and Dogecoin. Don't go there, please. don't do any trading on these websites. In around Labor Day in the U.S., we published some research on what's going on with travel and hospitality. So that's another type of business that's being targeted. People kind of started traveling more, in the U.S., especially around Labor Day. There was a lot more, and then there's more phishing and fraud around the companies. So here you see JetBlue, American Airlines, Airbnb, different companies impersonated. These are all phishing or fraud social media platforms. And again, what they'll do, they'll funnel it to the phishing sites and get this actually scam the end users. Just think about, you pay for an Airbnb, you arrive, and the building's not there. There's so many stories around that. It's just not there. It was never there. This is just an example for an impersonating network around travel and hospitality with LinkedIn profiles connected to the website. This is how it works. Right? This is how they do these scams. Bang & Olufsen, I'm sure you all know this brand, high-end electronics, especially speakers. So they became a customer, and we help them detect and remove online fraud, cyber squatting, counterfeits. Over 700 digital counterfeit pages were taken down in 2021. 90% of takedowns were done by us automatically, the click of a button. Which is when you think this is pretty amazing, and that shows about the scalability of the company, right? It's pretty easy, very high success rates. That's our strength. So, kind of to summarize this part, and I'll talk about a couple more things at the end. Counterfeiting, illicit trade, scams, fraud, phishing, in a sense, they're all the same. For us, as a cybersecurity company doing online brand protection, we don't care. The system detects them at the same way. We don't care what they do. We'll find it. We'll find it based on our technology. It will detect those different bad activities. There's a huge surge in online scams during COVID-19. Not to fight back for most companies today is not an option. And basically, for companies to fight this, it's persistence. And what we see is that when you keep fighting these cyber criminals, numbers of fraud out there will go down. Now, it won't disappear because there's always this, it's always kind of in waves. There's always this new smart guy in town that thinks he's gonna scam around that specific brand. So it comes back. But definitely, if you are persistent, it works. And for the consumer side, definitely education is a key for success for companies. And that brings us kind of to where BrandShield is going to go down the road. So we've talked about MyShield. MyShield is our kind of end user solution, which basically is going to be an app or a browser extension that will alert end users when they reach a phishing site or a counterfeit site or a fake social media page. That basically takes the intelligence that BrandShield has and makes it available to the public. The interesting thing about that is that where this is going to be the model that we have here is that we want the crowd, the public, to also provide us with intelligence. So when you will reach something that you're suspicious of, you will be able to report it. When you will report it, we'll get that crowd wisdom that no one has. By the way, we've patented this whole, technology and ID, and we're developing it. And this is a game changer, by the way. In a lot of different spaces, for example, in the crypto space, this would be a game changer. And generally, in online, it will allow trust to happen. Now, the model there is that we want the brands to be involved, basically providing a bounty, in a sense, to their customers that report on these fake websites impersonating pages on social media or counterfeit sales. And this creates a whole new economy, kind of using your community, using your social community, in a sense, to help you fight these scams. And that's a down the road of BrandShield, right? That's the next phase of what we're going to do. So a little bit about the company. I got kind of done with the case studies and a little bit about what was happening. This was published on our interim results. You can see here the annual recurring revenue, which is our main KPI, continuing to grow year by year. June 21, we published our interim reports, 3.9, almost 3.88 million in ARR, annual recurring revenue. It's a run rate, of course. In August, the number was 4.3, which was basically 79% over previous August. So we also see this accelerating, right? So the year by year, and the trend continues. And actually, when you look in terms of number of customers, so in Q2, we reached this important milestone of 100 customers. We're over that in August. And what you can see here is also, if you noticed, fourth quarter is usually traditionally a strong quarter in ARR and number of customers. And we expect, this quarter started strong. I don't know if you noticed our latest RNS this week about one of the largest e-commerce platforms that just became a customer. I cannot share their name or any details about them, but definitely something that makes us very happy. And this is just one of those that are happening. There's a constant flow of new deals, and we don't publish all of them. We can't. There's many. And the reason for that is that there's tens of thousands of customers out there that have no solution to what I've just showed you. They don't know about, they don't have anything to protect them and their customers from that. And that's the potential of BrandShield. We're a little bit more than 100 customers, getting to 1,000, 2,000 the next 2-3 years. That's nothing that is not possible. Totally possible. That's what we're going. Pushing our ARR, pushing getting market share. Definitely a huge potential for us to grow. And I would say, in terms of vision, every company, and it kind of goes back to what I started with. Every company today has, almost every company would have a firewall, right? Will have those internal protections. But as I said, one of the growing problems online today in cybercrime is the external threats, phishing, fraud, counterfeits. We are way ahead with our technology over competition. We're well positioned to lead this market, and this is our vision. We believe that in the next few years, this is going to be something that is a standard for almost every company from SME and above using BrandShield or a similar, of course, there's always competition, which is good, solution for online threat hunting. That's it. Thank you.
Just ask you a couple of questions. You have a unique offering, or relatively unique offering. How do you decide how to price that to the customer?
So the revenue model is actually quite straightforward. So first of all, as I said, it's a SaaS subscription model, right? You subscribe, it's annual contracts, auto-renewing. Pricing is based on two major things. One is the number of brands or products, or whatever we scan for you, we monitor for you. And the second thing is the product that you buy from us, whether it's more anti-counterfeiting, anti-phishing, and also the level within those solutions, or impersonation detection, executive impersonation. The pricing is built to fit different sizes of companies and kind of to allows maximizing on the customer's wallet share, so basically cross-selling and upselling. When you think about it, we have customers that are SMEs that will have one brand, that will many times start from one product and then will maybe add another product, another solution that we have. That's where we upsell. And some multi-brand companies will many times start with a couple of brands, test that out, they're happy, and then they can add dozens. I actually had a customer lately, again, can't reveal the name, and they're just about to close a deal. And this was a multi-brand company having a few brands with us. And they were using our anti-counterfeiting solution, basically. And in the past few months, they were suffering from a lot of what I just showed you. The more, this is what's rising, right? The phishing, the fraud, impersonation. And they had to kind of get a better, a more focused solution on that. So we actually, just last week, we had a discussion, and we basically sold them an upsell on the security solution. We were talking about filling the cracks, and the way that happened is that the legal team, which we closed the original deal, brought in the security team, and they all said, okay, this is what we need, right? And this is kind of the vision of BrandShield is happening in front of our eyes. And that's the kind of the potential for growth.
And my second and final question, the B2C product, been called that, MyShield, that sounds like it could be as big as the traditional, cyber security services that people have at home, in the 10 quid a month or 20 quid a month or whatever it is.
Definitely.
And the feedback that the public give is like Waze, the Waze on the roadmap type thing. So that was bought for, I think, or sold for billions to Google. Is that the right analogy?
Totally.
Okay, that's fine.
Exactly.
That's all I need to know.
Exact. Crowd wisdom brought into brand protection and online threat hunting. Yeah, the ways of cyber security that is external to the organization. Totally.
Okay. Right. Any other questions?
Are you working with sort of industry sort of best practice leaders and stuff like that, so that your product is actually being recommended to the industry as a whole?
So, first of all, quite a few of our customers come from referral, and some of these clients that you've seen here are happy to talk and kind of recommend. Again, it really depends on the customer, and we're trying as much as we can to have more and more customers allow us to publish a case study on their.
What about law enforcement?
No, law enforcement is law enforcement takes you to the more service side, right? The more on the ground stuff. The intelligence that we have, we many times, you can extract it from the system easily, and our customers will use it. Like the example I gave you on that pharma company, to work with law enforcement, moving forward. But we trying to keep out of that. We don't want to become a more of a investigation, service company, but keep as a software company that provides a solution, right? There is that pilot in the cockpit that decides who to shoot at and which missile to use. I describe BrandShield many times as the F-35 of brand protection, right? And we basically, and you can buy the plane and you can fly it yourself if you want. It's the only SaaS platform out there, but most of them don't have the expertise. So they want our people. We've trained the best people, actually. And the fact that we have our own people, that actually helps us ongoing make the system better. We have basically a power user in-house, and we learn from that. So we make it stronger, faster, more automated. That's how we make the product better and better. And that helps us kind of provide the full solution for the customers.
You mentioned that you close down websites when you identify them.
Yep.
So do you work with the main domain name companies in the UK and the US to do that?
So I'll explain. So we don't attack anyone, right? We're not. I was talking about who to shoot at. We don't shoot anyone. We just submit the intelligence, right? So to the relevant service providers, they shut it down, right? They have the plug to shut it down. The smart thing about it is that we're able to collect the strong intelligence, show networks, for example, show what's the value of, what's the problem in what we detected. Very easily, it's all automated when we do that. And we submit it from the system to either a hosting provider, a registrar of domain names, a registry of domain names.
ICANN or...
Yeah, ICANN. ICANN is an organization that kind of runs the policy. We've been involved for 21 years in ICANN. That's kind of where we've started our first company, and know much about that. But we submit this to the registries where the domains are managed, or the registrars, which is the next level. Our first company was that Yuval and me and David started, was 21 years ago. It's the largest domain name registrar in Israel. And this is how we've kind of gotten into this world. And the registrars, if you submit the intelligence to them in the right way, they will stop it, right? If it's a phishing site. And we also, of course, submit this intelligence to social media platforms, right? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, VK, WeChat. I mean, people ask us, can you do this of course we can do this with the Chinese or other Asians or South American. When you submit to them the right claim, the right intelligence, they will act. You know why? Because they don't want to get any responsibility. They know that these companies will come after them at the end game. This is not their play, right? This is not. They don't want to have any fraud and phishing or counterfeits on their platforms. Most of them don't police it themselves. We're kind of helping them get rid of this. That's their part. So this is how we do this.
Would they pay you to help them?
Sorry?
Would they pay you to help them?
It's not their model. Right? The model is the brands pay you. Now, there's one more thing that we do. Actually, it goes to your question. We also help mitigate the risk, usually for our security solutions, the phishing, the anti-phishing solutions, where we will notify the antiviruses or the browsers or the search engines of a phishing site. And that, what they will do, they will block it. I don't know if it happened to you once that you clicked on something, you got this red alert on Google or from your antivirus saying this is a problematic website. So we get those things, this intelligence directly, like click a button to them, and they'll block it. Okay, so that mitigates. Even if we were not able to take it down from the hosting provider or the registrar, it will be blocked when the users go in. All right, so that still mitigates the risk. Yeah, please.
What do the trajectory of earnings look like? I mean, it's a great story, but how are the earnings going to go?
Well, as you saw, it's an exponential growth at this point, and we think that the trend will continue that way. That's where we're going.
What sort of sales force have you got?
So we listed in December, and until that point, it was me, Itai that you saw on the video, and another sales guy selling. That's it. And we got amazing customers. Some of them we were able to reveal, but there's even even bigger and a wider amount of customers out there that I would wish I could name. That was the sales force until the end of December. We hired a sales guy on the ground in the US and on the ground in the UK in the past few months. Also, we've hired a sales guys focusing on developing channels through partners. So that's one of the growth ways, working through managed service providers or managed security service providers, which is called MSPs, MSSPs. A lot of cybersecurity companies, this is how they grow, because these, and most of them, these MSSPs, they will sell those internal protection solutions, and basically they don't have a solution for these external threats, and that we're a really good complementary solution. So this is where we're also focusing, where we're going forward.
How are these guys remunerated?
Sorry? Oh, it's a percentage of the kind of discount on our usual pricing. Yeah, are you asking on our sales guy or on the partners? Sales guy. So they're compensated. So it's aggressive kind of model. They have a base, but a very high compensation on success. Generally, as a tech company in Israel, we tend to give options to all of our employees, and you'll see those RNSs coming out and options from while to while, because when we hire new people, we'll give them options. That's the way you keep employees with you. So yeah, that's how we do it.
So what would prevent a large player in the cybersecurity space from replicating your protection strategy?
First of all, we've developed this tech for years, and it's a deep technology, very complicated. And the fact there's competition there that's been around for a while. None of them have been able to reach this level of technology. That's one. Competition is important. If you don't have competition, that means you don't have a market, right? So there is competition there. The ones that are out there, they overlap with what we do, but a part of what they do. But all of them actually have other things, right? So they will do dark web and also this, what we call the visible web, right? But that's what we do, where we focus. Now, why don't we deal with dark web? Because it's a different game. You cannot do anything about dark web in terms of takedown. You cannot stop it. It's an intelligence game, and it versus kind of fighting a problem, okay? So we're focusing on that. We actually see customers buying both. So competition, so kind of competitive solutions that are overlapping a little bit, and us. There'll always a chance others getting into this industry. I would think that a big cybersecurity player, before, if they decide that this is something that they want to go after, will probably approach us for for an M&A before they'll go, because developing this tech is not that easy. There's more than 20 years of our kind of experience put into the development of the product, and quite a few years and millions of dollars of R&D. So yeah, that's not an easy task to get that happen. Other questions?
Do you look after individuals, sports stars, entertainers? Obviously, they are a brand.
So you saw that we have I give an example on the executive impersonation of that financial. It's actually there's a kind of a few there. I cannot name them. One was a celebrity that signed up lately. It's actually a late celebrity. It's his family signed for this. And we have another kind of someone from the sports industry and that has a lot of merchandise and a lot of stuff there. There's an angle there. There's more coming in that industry. I cannot talk about that. Some are really in the funnel right now, but really interesting. Yeah, definitely. There's a lot going on in that space. So yeah.
Okay.
One more. All the bad boys all the phishing people are selling their names on the dark web, and presumably all of the counterfeiters are selling all of their stuff on the dark web and then putting it on various like eBay and the like, etc. So what developments are you doing in that area?
We don't want to get dark web is a different space. We don't get there. The thing about dark web is, okay, you found out a page on dark web that allows you to buy fake vaccine.
Yeah.
So what do you do about it? You can't do anything about it. Nothing. You cannot take it down. You cannot stop it. Even if you're the FBI, believe me, I talked with the FBI about this several times. They have nothing to do about it. They cannot. So what it allows you is to run some intelligence and know that something might be coming. We don't deal with what might be coming. We deal with what's out there, and that's where we focus, okay? Now, I'm not saying that it's not important, but it's a different space. It's a different type of intelligence. And where things happen, that's where we want to stop it. We want to make sure that people are not hurt. And I would say something about, maybe this will kind of wrap this up. When we hire people to work at BrandShield, what I say is, look, what we do in this company is we do good. Okay? We really make this world a better place. We stop scams, fraud, counterfeits, things that kill people. Okay? And that's what we do. And we'll continue to do that. That's it.
Yoav Keren, CEO of BrandShield, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.